need from us. All right, we're going to go to Psalm chapter 22. We're set up here for Christmas. Christmas is beginning. We already sang a song tonight, a Christmas hymn. The Old Testament, we know, has a lot to say about who this Christ would be that we now look back on. They were looking forward on. And we know that the Old Testament tells us that Jesus Christ would be born of a virgin in the book of Isaiah in chapter 7 and verse 14. It tells us that he would be, Emmanuel would be born. He would be born of a virgin. In chapter 9 and verse 6, I believe it is, tells us that this child that would be born was going to be the everlasting Father. The mighty God would be born as a child. And it tells us where he would be born in Micah chapter 5 and verse 2, in a little town called Bethlehem, in a town called the House of Bread. The bread from heaven would be born in a house of bread. And we talk about this birth of Christ, and obviously so we should do that. Galatians chapter 4 and verses 4 and 5 tells us that when the fullness of time was come. And what that means is not a day early and not a day late. You know, I've been thinking about that passage a lot lately because of COVID. We had weddings in our own church. We had funerals. We had all kinds of events that were planned that got totally wrecked by the circumstances, as I'm sure you did here in this church. Well, have you ever thought that God himself planned the birth of his son, where he would be born, how he was going to be born, to the day? There was no circumstance, no change in human government that would make Christ come a day early or come a day late. It wouldn't change where God said he would be born and how he would be born. Nothing changes the plan of God in the will of God, and all of that is foretold. It tells us